Hi there, it's Jen from scribblinggrace.com. Today I have another Bible Journal with Me video. Today we are going to do a page just full of different leaves. So I have a handy dandy printable for you guys to have. It's completely free on my blog with the blog post that goes with this tutorial video. No signups or anything necessary. It's a traceable, or it could be a coloring page, however you want to use it, of different leaf shapes, so it makes it a little easy. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this printable, and I'm probably just going to cut out each leaf shape and arrange them underneath my page. I have another blank page that I'm going to use as my base kind of thing, so that way it'll also protect the pages below this page in my Bible from getting wet with watercolor. And I'll just kind of arrange them underneath here and then use that as my traceable for my watercolor. Of course, you could also do this with colored pencils. You could just use a normal pen or markers or whatever your favorite medium is. All right, so let's get going. All right, so I have my leaves cut out, just some of them from the sheet, and this is just kind of a ballpark where I want them to go. I can always move them around later. I also might end up creating some other shapes of my own to fill it up, and we will see how this goes. All right, so I'm just going to flip that over, and now I can see my traceable underneath, and I'm going to start painting. So I am using my Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor set. What I love about it is I'm going to use all these different green colors because I want it to be colorful, but I want each shape to have a different color green. And what's so great about the set is that it comes automatically with all of these mixed greens, which is pretty nice. I also have my little cup of water back here, and I'm using a size 8 round brush. And really, I have no technique really to this. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this in and paint it. I'm sure that you can figure that out. One thing I do want to note is that if you want to keep these really light, I did a page on my Instagram the other day where I had really light green leaves and everyone loved it, and it's also nice because you can read the scripture underneath. If you want to keep it light, just add a very little amount of paint and a lot of water, and that way you'll get a nice light color out of it. So this, I did not add very much pigment at all. I'm keeping it nice and light, and I'm just filling in this entire shape. Once that shape is filled in, then I will go ahead and add a stem in the middle of my leaf with a little bit darker or more pigmented color. I'm going to use the same color for the same leaves. So I'm going to keep with the same green color and just make it more pigmented. I have other videos that show watercolor painting as well, and the whole idea of pigmentation and whatnot. I'll put links to those in the description below. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest of this video. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just, following those guidelines. At the end of this video, I end up adding a few more shapes just to fill up the page, and I will show you that as well. As I mentioned before, you definitely could use other mediums to do this instead of watercolor, whatever your medium of choice is. And if you also do not like to cover up the text in the Bible, you of course could just stick to the margins and do just like these first few that I'm doing that are mainly in the margins. And that way you don't cover up the text, and that is a personal decision and perfectly respectable no matter what you decide to do. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you which verse I'm working on. I'm working on 1 Kings 2, 1-4, which says, "When David's time to die drew near, he commanded Solomon his son, saying, I am about to go in the way of all the earth. Be strong and show yourself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord your God, walking in his ways and keeping his statutes, his commandments, his rules, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you turn, that the Lord may establish his word that he spoke concerning me, saying, If your son pay close attention to their way, to walk before me in faithfulness with all their heart and with all their soul, you shall not lack a man on the throne of Israel. So I'm going to be honest, this was one of those verses that I have to reread a few times to actually understand what is going on, because when you read it all at once really fast like I just did, it's like, what? Anyways, so I am a part of Living by Design's Ministries creative team. It's a new nonprofit started by Sarah Kuntz, and we support women and provide free Bible studies. And they're all written by Sarah, and they're really cool. And so this study that I'm currently working through is officially launching on April 2nd. It's called Wisdom Whispers, and it's all about the life of King Solomon from the beginning to the end. And so I am currently on day 4, and day 4 is basically when King David is dying, and he tells Solomon, to follow the Lord like he's commanded, and you will prosper. And Solomon does this for a long time and does prosper, and then at the end of his life, he still turns away from God. And so we're just studying through that and trying to figure out what we can learn from his mistakes and what we can learn from his successes. And so part of this study, every day there's a wisdom whispers to go along with what we're reading. And so the wisdom whispers of day 4 of the study that I'm on is Wisdom Whispers, Blessings Await When I Walk in Obedience. This Wisdom Whispers, I think, is kind of the main theme of the entire study. And, you be obedient to the Lord, and he will allow you to prosper. And I just think that's pretty neat. So, this study is officially coming out again on April 2nd. It's an email-based study, so you sign up with your email, and then throughout the month, it's 6 days a week kind of thing. So 5 days is the study, a 6th day is a rest day, and that 6th day is also when you will receive a free coloring page from me, and then the 7th day is a day of rest. And so the study is super cool. You get the email and you get the day of the study. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to go through the whole day, and you really do learn a lot. So I think that's pretty neat. If you're interested in signing up for it, I'll put the link to that in the description below, and you can just sign up, and it's pretty neat. And you can, if you're watching this video delayed, and you can still sign up at any time. And yeah, I don't mean to be all salesy, but it is a free study, so it is a pretty cool resource. I'm going to slow back down this video really quick and show you this fern. I think this fern is the hardest one of these leaves to do, and basically the way that I do it is kind of hard to just fill in the lines from the guide. So basically I draw one line as the stem, and then just push my brush on it to create the little edges. I don't know if I'm describing that super well, but you kind of will understand the idea if you try to get out on it. So I draw a line, and then I kind of just push my brush, or you could just create a bunch of other small lines. This is basically what I'm doing. I'm creating other small lines off of that stem branch that creates each petal of this fern. So now I am going to be done using my little template, but I'm going to still try to create the same type of leaves here to fill up the rest of this page. And here I'm trying to emulate that leaf that's on the bottom left side and do it here on the top right. And then I'm going to do that 3-leafed one that's on the, towards the top on the left, and do that same type of thing here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add just some really big light leaf shapes. So I'm using a lot of water again and very little pigment, and I'm just creating these super big leaf shapes just to fill in the rest of that page. And there's no
it's really just the 2 swipes, creating the pointed end. And I feel like once you have created the rest of this page using those guides, you can kind of understand how to create that leaf shape. And the parts where it got a little dark, I just blot it with my paper towel. And now I'm going to go ahead and dry my page, and I'm using a heat gun. It's just an embossing heat gun. I can put a link to that in the description below. And I'm going to start lettering. So I just take a pencil to give me a guide on where to put my lettering first. And then I'm going to use my Tombow Funosuke brush pen and do my lettering. So this brush pen is really cool because when I push down, I will create thicker downstrokes, and when I release that pressure, when I'm going upward, I get my nice thin upstrokes. I have more information about the upstrokes and downstrokes of brush pen calligraphy on my video and blog post, brush pen calligraphy. And I'll put the links to that in the description below. I am writing out my wisdom whispers, blessings await when I walk in obedience. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Sakura Decoris gel pen to do some highlight. So I'm just using that gel pen on the downstroke, so the thicker part of my lettering, and that just helps my lettering to stand out a little bit from the darker parts of my leaves. I find that with the darker parts of the leaves, they can sometimes get a little muddled, and so using that highlight helps to stand out just a little bit more. All right, that's my finished page. Be sure to head on over to that blog post to download the free printable of the leaf shapes. There's no signups necessary for that. You just head on over and there's a little button where you can download the printable and save it to your computer and print it out. And I hope you have fun with it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I so appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.